Apple just dropped new iPads for the first time since 2022. We got 2 new iPad Pros and 2 new iPad Airs. I will, of course, break down the big updates these models bring and how they compare to each other. And if you're wondering how these new iPads differ from the older, less expensive ones in Apple's lineup, the iPad and iPad mini, I'll go over that too. Hopefully this gives those of you thinking about buying an iPad a better sense of which one's right for you. And remember that the specs don't tell the whole story, so subscribe to CNET to see what we think of these new iPads once we have them in hand. First, let's go over the biggest upgrades to the iPad Pro and iPad Air. I'm also going to compare these models as I go for those of you deciding between them, but in general, here's how I like to think about them. The iPad Pro brings the most dramatic updates, while the iPad Air is, for the most part, pretty similar to the previous model of the iPad Pro. The 2024 iPad Pro features a brand new M4 processor that hasn't even been in a Mac before. It's being debuted in this new iPad Pro. The 2024 iPad Air, on the other hand, has been upgraded to the M2 chip that was in the 2022 iPad Pro. See what I mean about the new iPad Air resembling the last iPad Pro? I'm interested to see how the new M4 chip does. Apple says it offers significantly better performance than the M2 chip. And because you know Apple had to mention the current buzzword in tech, AI, the company also says the M4 brings enhanced machine learning for AI-based tasks. I wouldn't be surprised if we heard more about this at WWDC next month. This next update is one I am very excited about. It almost makes me want to upgrade from my 2018 3rd Gen iPad Pro. On both of the new models, the front camera is on the landscape edge rather than the portrait edge like it was on the previous Pro and Air. So you no longer have to worry about that awkward eye line that FaceTiming with a portrait edge front camera creates. The 2024 iPad Pro features a new Ultra Retina XDR OLED display, which is an upgrade that makes it the first iPad to ever have an OLED screen. You can also get a glare-free nano texture glass if you opt for a 1 or 2 terabyte iPad Pro. The 2024 iPad Air features the Liquid Retina display technology found on the 2022 iPad Pro. There's that resemblance between the new Air and the old Pro again. The 2024 iPad Air doesn't have a nano texture glass option. The 2022 iPad Pro came in 11 and 12.9 inch options. The new iPad Pro also comes in an 11 inch option, but replaces that 12.9 inch option with an ever so slightly larger 13 inch model. The new Pro is also thinner. The 11 inch model is 5.3 millimeters thick and the 13 inch model is 5.1 millimeters thick. The new iPad Air comes in the same sizes as the new iPad Pro, 11 inches and 13 inches. This is noteworthy because the previous Air only came in one 10.9 inch option. The new iPad Air models are 6.1 millimeters thick. That's thicker than the new Pro models are, which is ironic given the iPad Air name. I wonder if the Air will eventually get a rename because of this. The rear camera on the new iPad Pro has an improved True Tone flash that's supposed to help eliminate shadows when you're taking pictures of documents. The new iPad Air doesn't have this enhanced True Tone flash. Here's some other miscellaneous differences between the new iPads that you might want to know about. Both the Pro and the Air have USB-C, although the Pro also supports Thunderbolt or USB 4. The Air has landscape stereo speakers and 2 mics, while the Pros have 4 speakers and 4 mics. Both the Pro and the Air are compatible with the USB-C Apple Pencil and the new Apple Pencil Pro. And the Air is compatible with the Magic Keyboard, while the Pro is compatible with, as the name suggests, the new Magic Keyboard for iPad Pro. And perhaps most importantly, there are price differences between the new iPads. The iPad Air starts at 128 gigabytes of storage and goes all the way up to 1 terabyte. The 11-inch Air starts at $600 and the 13-inch model starts at $800. The iPad Pro starts at 256 gigabytes of storage and goes all the way up to 2 terabytes. The 11-inch Pro starts at $1,000 and the 13-inch model starts at $1,300. Next, let's talk about how these new iPads compare to the other 2 iPads in Apple's lineup, the 2022 10th Gen iPad and the 2021 6th Gen iPad mini. The 10th Gen iPad and the iPad mini feature older processors than the new models. The iPad has the A14 Bionic chip and the iPad mini has the A15 Bionic chip, while the 2024 Pro and Air feature the M4 and M2 chips, respectively. A big W for the 10th Gen iPad is that it does have the landscape front camera like the new iPads do, rather than the portrait one. But sadly, the iPad mini still has that portrait front camera. Like I mentioned earlier, the new iPad Pro is the first to ever have an OLED screen. So both the 10th gen iPad and the iPad mini feature the older Liquid Retina display technology, also found on the latest iPad Air. And neither the iPad nor the iPad mini have that glare-free nano texture glass option. The 10th gen iPad comes in one 10.9-inch option, so a little tinier than that smallest 11-inch option for the new Pro and the new Air. And the iPad mini, as the name suggests, is even smaller. It comes in one 8.3-inch option. The 10th gen iPad and the iPad mini are 7mm and 6.3mm thick, respectively, so they're thicker than the new iPads. The two older iPads also don't have that enhanced True Tone flash for taking pictures of documents. Like the new iPads, the old ones have USB-C, but don't support Thunderbolt or USB 4 like the new Pro does. The old iPads don't come in as many storage options as the new ones. While the new iPads go from 128GB to 2TB storage options, the 10th gen iPad and the iPad mini come in 64GB and 256GB storage options. But these older iPads are easier on your wallet. The 10th gen iPad starts at $350, while the iPad mini starts at $500. That's $100 cheaper than the new starting price of the latest iPad Air. You can pre-order the new iPads now, and they ship next week. Again, these specs only scratch the surface of these devices, so I'd wait for our reviews of the new iPads before making any final buying decisions. Thank you so much for watching.